My name is Michael Youngwood. I'm a nurse educator at Haywood Community College. My credentials, I'm Master of Science in Nursing Education. I'm one of two of our professors that teach across the curriculum. I teach first year nursing, LPN to RN transition, and second year nursing. I also teach clinical simulation. I personally came through a traditional curriculum, as a lot of nurse educators, contemporary nurse educators did. And for me, the easiest way to delineate what is traditional versus what is conceptual is traditional seems to be an inundation of just vast amounts of information without ever taking that information, disseminating that information, and bringing it in to look at the bigger picture. And what we needed to do was get a break away from all of that minutia and have our students be able to take the information that we're giving them and plug it into a bigger picture, a concept, if you will, to bring that in and to look at a bigger picture, more of a conceptual, non-linear way of looking at nursing and how to deliver nursing care. Traditionally, what they could do is they could tell us a lot about a lot of different things, but something was missing. There was a gap between all of that knowledge and the application of that knowledge. So I think with the advent of conceptual-based nursing education, we're able to pull all the minutia, put it back in, and take the critical thinking and put it at the bedside where it's needed the most. We needed something that addressed the 21st century learner. With CoursePoint, it's seamless integration in one stop. I'm not having to log out of one place, go over here, go grab a different book, go look it up in a drug handbook. It's not scattered, because what we see is if you disseminate it too much and you make it too hard, they're not going to do it. And there's your gap. There are other solutions out there, but those solutions don't fill the gap. We needed a conceptual-based solution that we can plug in these components to fill those gaps. And that's where Lippincott came in. It was absolute seamless integration across the board. We looked at the textbooks, we looked at the digital media that was assigned to it. Something as simple, and people don't buy, it's not that they don't buy, people don't understand the value of this, contemporary journals, peer-reviewed journals. Within LNC or CoursePoint, it's click and there it is. This is what we're studying. And by the way, here is a peer-reviewed journal that supports this. Evidence-based practice in practice. And we start them early talking about evidence-based practice, and there it is, at a mouse click away. So it's that seamless integration from the classroom to hands-on digital media, no matter where they are. I've heard the analogy, I'm sitting waiting to pick my kids up and I've got my phone out and I'm doing Prep View. Perfect, perfect. And I'm never having to hold it over their head or say, you need to do this. You know, this is a requirement. It's never that I have to make it mandatory. They're going after it. Where before, with some of the antiquated methods of trying to get nursing education across and conceptual based, because as difficult as it is for some of our educators to grasp the whole concept of conceptual based learning, think how it must be for the students. So we needed something to fill those gaps, those missing pieces of the puzzle, because at the end of the day, yes, we had a nice pretty picture, but there were holes in the picture. And now we don't have holes in the picture anymore. And now the students are all in. And if you can get that seamless integration with what you're trying to deliver and what they're getting, at the end of the day, you've got student success. And again, that's what you want. If you can measure whether or not what you're doing is effective by the success of your students, you have achieved your goal. I could only point it back into Lippincott allowing us to bridge those gaps, giving us the tools to facilitate the bridging of those gaps. And it ultimately, at the end of the day, as an educator, how do I gauge whether or not this is successful? What barometer can I use? Can you measure critical thinking? No, other than watching how they perform, watching how they act. So what's the barometer for success here? That's just it. Student success. When I can look at my class averages and go, no one's at risk of failing. We've got an entire cohort that sets at a mid to high 90s average. And again, that's unheard of. When I can pull back as an educator and say, that's unheard of. I've never seen this. Well, what was different? Did I change something I did? Was my approach different? No. I haven't changed anything I've done. We've introduced something that bridged those gaps, and it has equated to student success. And at the end of the day, that's truly what we're after.